More than 200 days after the lockdown, the Philippines' coronavirus cases are still rising. Classes have been moved online to prevent more infections, but this move has been unpopular because of the government's inability to prevent students from being left behind.
Alam naman natin na there's little to no support from the national government, especially in the education sector. So we decided to take matters into our own hands. I started taliniwa with my high school barkada. Tapos yung prominent poll talaga namin right now is no student left behind.
In this J Masterclass, we will look into how different JMAers were able to contribute to COVID-19 related efforts. As said in the earlier lessons, helping others and doing acts of kindness can benefit our mental health and well-being. But more than that, it is most important to come together and help, especially those in need.
So, Taliniwa yung name ng donation drive. Yay! Tapos we launched it in July, early July. Tapos it's probably one of the best things I've ever done or ever started. Tapos yung main premise niya is to help bridge the technological gap for students in the remote learning. Give pocket Wi-Fi units to students in need. So may specific beneficiary kami, 102 grades 4 to 6 students from Kapitan Moy Elementary School. A prominent call right now na we see a lot is hashtag no student left behind. At sobrang relevant na ngayon kasi sobrang daming family sa taon na wala ng trabaho in the midst of COVID. There's really no room like at this point, like with social media and being able to access information at any time. Wala na rin excuse to be ignorant or parang indifferent to what's happening. It should also bring to light how much na students shouldn't be putting their education in the backseat or dropping out of school to work. It's not like an end-all be-all solution na when we do it, oh my god, we're gonna solve all kinds of poverty. Despite that, it's still like a baby step. It's an echo. Kahit ripple lang in this vast expanse of people who are in need. Na slowly but surely we're going to get there. Hopefully like soon.
I wouldn't say we started it as a coping mechanism, but it kind of started as just like we were sad that people were still going out at first because that was like when classes just got suspended. People were still going out, they didn't really get it. So we were like, I think we have to help people our age understand it more because news articles are long and people don't really read it as much, which is sad to say, diba? So we're like, okay, let's make it like in squares so when people scroll in their timeline, when they see it, and it will be like bullet points lang, they'll read it. That's how it started. And it actually helped ease some anxiety as well that, okay, we're doing a small thing. It can still affect a lot of people. Like what they read, maybe they'll be more careful. Maybe they'll like wash their hands more or they won't go out na. So that kind of helped us kind of be less nervous and less anxious because like we missed a lot. We're missing a lot of our lives basically, like a big part of our college lives. Or for other people, they even missed their grad, they missed like their fresh years online, which is so sad. So I think doing that little thing of launching LP and helping people learn, and also even like donating PPEs and stuff, like it helped us parang think that we're doing our own little part in helping this pandemic end, which made us feel better. Although like the main purpose naman talaga was just to really help people, but the side effect is that it also made us feel better about it. So yeah.
Actually, I had it since before, but like in my IG stories, I used to post all my food and just call it like food faces, whatever. But then like 2020, I wanted to track it kasi mismo. Like I wanted a feed for it. Like I didn't want to just post it. So I started dumping my cooking stuff in Fia's food. And then yun, like I just cooked and cooked, and in quarantine, I just cooked and cooked, and then people were like, hey, are you selling? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just making for fun. And then, yun, to the point that my friends were like saying, so Filipino cooking has really been your thing talaga. Why don't you try selling? And I'm like, okay. So I have an excuse rin to cook more because I have a habit to eat everything. So if If I find people who will eat it, I can just give it to them so I don't have to eat it. My dream is to have a career that is centered around food security, like environment and food. I realized like the pandemic shouldn't stop me from wanting to help. And sa bagay, since I'm given more time, I should make the most out of this time and help them. Like, yeah, honestly, I'd like to say that the environment advocacies are what keep me grounded talaga. Like when there are times I get anxious or let's say sad or I feel really down and I always tell myself, no, you can't do anything stupid or you can't give up because the environment counts on you. So I'd like to believe like even if I'm tired, I'm still gonna do it because it gives me a purpose to keep on fighting for the environment. That's for me.
The thing is with like the pandemic going on, parang even the small stuff super matters. Like for example, with your friends, if they started like a page on awareness, like Gabi Silaw, stuff like that. Or if like another friend started like a drive, just I think at this time where everyone is kind of struggling, like even sharing pubs or spreading the word, or if you're religious, saying a prayer, like these super small things can ripple to bigger effects. On corny, but like you'll never know na the pub you shared or like the information you cascaded to different people, it can bring like a different impact. And yeah, parang admittedly at first I kind of felt na parang I wasn't doing enough compared to other people, but helping out doesn't necessarily have to be a loud thing. I know that in this day and age, accountability is important, but I hope, I don't know, people don't feel pressured to like drastically change the world. Like small actions can really lead to bigger and more tangible changes.
As our country continues to face the pandemic and the difficulties brought by this, helping each other and empowering our community can go a long way, no matter how big or how small our contributions are. Thank you for completing the very first J Masterclass series. Stay tuned for topics that we will release soon. Stay safe and good luck.